Second graders, today we're going to review sequence of events to help us with our comprehension. And this is a good skill that helps us retell something that we've read. So get ready to listen and work with me. All right, please listen as I read this story. It's called A Walk to Grandma's House. Now remember, we want to remember these events in order from the beginning, middle, and end. So visualize and put those pictures in your head. Here we go. Last Saturday, Jean and her brother Carl walked to their grandma's house. On the way, they stopped by the fruit store and bought an apple each and ate them as they walked. While crossing through the park, Carl picked some wildflowers for Grandma. They hopped over a fence and left the park. Jean waved hello to Mr. Harps and helped him catch some newspapers the wind had caught. Finally, Jean and Carl arrived at Grandma's house. She came out and gave them both a big hug and a plate of cookies. So there were a lot of things happening on this walk. And we learned that sometimes there are time order words, first, next, then, and last. And I really didn't hear many in this passage, but I did hear finally. So I know that's the end of my story, one of the last things that's happening. And I really don't see any more time order words. But if you see some, those are helpful hints. Below, we have some events that happened in the story. And we need to put those in order of how they happened. So let's read the events and see if we can think about the order. If not, we can go back and look in the passage. So we have the event that Jean helped Mr. Harps catch some newspapers. Carl picked flowers for Grandma. Grandma gave the kids a hug and cookies. Carl and Jean bought and ate some apples. They hopped over a fence, and Jean and her brother walked to see Grandma. Do you see an event that you know we should put a number 1 by, that this happened first? Which one do you think? Well, it's this one right at the bottom. Jean and her brother walked to see Grandma. That was at the very beginning of our story, right at the top. They're walking to Grandma's house right here. Okay. When I looked back up here, I saw the word fruit store and apple right afterwards. So let's see if we have an event that happens with apples and fruit. Do you see it with me? Carl and Jean bought and ate some apples. So that's number 2. That's the second thing that happened. Look at what's left. Do you remember what they did right after they bought and ate the apples? Did they hop over a fence? Did Grandma give the kids a hug and cookies? Did Carl pick flowers for Grandma? Or did Jean help Mr. Harps catch a newspaper? Does one of those sound like it happened right after they ate some apples? Can you put which one you think is in your head, and then we'll check. Let's check. So here they are at the fruit store, and they're buying the apples. And then while crossing through the park, Carl picked some wildflowers. So picking some flowers for Grandma is the third event. Can you think of what happened right after he picked the flowers? Did they help Mr. Marks with the newspaper, Harps? Did they Grandma give them hugs and cookies, or did they hop over a fence? Well, as I'm reading this, I know this one's the last one. I remember that happening right at the very end. So I need to think between these two events right here. What happened after they got the flowers? Let's take a quick peek and make sure we are checking it. So here's Carl picking some wildflowers. They had to hop the fence so that they could get out of the park. And then they helped catch the newspapers. And then this was our last event. So sometimes we can remember. Other times we need to go back and check in the passage. We can look for time order words. We can read these back in order now that we've numbered them and see if it follows the right sequence. But this is a great way to retell a story from the beginning, the middle, and the end. So as you're reading this week, see if you can remember your story in the correct order. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.